Welcome to my channel on the best of fantasy. This is the week that was. Welcome to episode 2 of the week that was, everybody. First, I want to start by thanking everybody for their generous reception of the first episode of the week that was last Saturday. I was actually pleasantly surprised by, well, I shouldn't have been pleasantly surprised, but everyone was so warm and nice and encouraging. And I thanked a lot of people in the comments, but I'd like to thank you all again because it was really just actually very special to have such a wonderful response from everyone on this idea of just chatting with you guys every week about what I've been up to on the channel, all things fantasy. So I'm just so grateful for that, and I'm looking forward now to doing this series. I hope it'll be a lot of fun, and we'll have lots of great chats ahead. So, one thing I did earlier in the week was a Wheel of Time discussion. That is the TV show. I had a great time discussing episodes 1 through 3 with AP Canavan, and his channel is A Critical Dragon. We are going to be trading episodes from now on. So episode 4 is going to be on his channel, and our first discussion on this series went really, really well. I thought we had a great response from the viewers in the comments, and a lot more people watched us than I actually figured would, because, well, everybody and their brother and mother and sister-in-law and everything else are putting up videos on the Wheel of Time television series right now, at least in our little corner of Fantasy BookTube. But which is great. I love the enthusiasm. It's fantastic for us all to be gathered around this series, this story being told on the screen for us, and it was a lot of fun. AP and I had a great time discussing it. In fact, actually, we did so well that one of our viewers compared us to Siskel and Ebert. Yes, the great film critics, Siskel and Ebert. Of course, someone else did compare us to Statler and Waldorf, so I'm not sure which one I should take more stock in. You guys can tell me, are we Siskel and Ebert or are we Statler and Waldorf? I'm afraid I actually know the answer. And if you don't know who Statler and Waldorf were, you probably are too young to watch The Muppets, but that might jar your memory a bit. So yeah, we will be watching, and actually, to tell you the truth, I just watched episode 4, and no spoilers, no big spoilers, but, well, okay, little spoiler. I thought it was the best episode so far in the series. Out of the first 4, episode 4 just blew the first 3 episodes out of the water, in my opinion, and so I'm excited to talk about it with AP, because we did have criticisms, even though AP and I are both very much rooting for the show to be successful. And I am a fan of the Wheel of Time series, the book series, that is. So we want this show to succeed because that will be a win for fantasy. If the Wheel of Time show does well, then there is a good chance that other fantasy shows will be made. So we all want to root for Wheel of Time. We want to see that Lord of the Rings show also do well. Well, we want these shows to do well because if they do well, more fantasy programming will appear. So that's just how these things work. So absolutely hoping for the best. And I actually am more hopeful now after seeing episode 4 that this could be pretty darn good, that there's some real potential here. So I won't say any more than that because I do have, I'm going to talk about it all with AP, and I'm so looking forward to that. That will be once again on his channel on A Critical Dragon. I anticipate that it will be released sometime early or mid-ish next week, so that should be exciting. I also this week did my review of A Shadow in Summer, Book 1 of the Long Price Quartet by Daniel Abraham, and I have the Omnibus edition here, which has A Shadow in Summer, and Book 2, A Betrayal in Winter. So I had a really great time reading this book. I thought that Daniel Abraham is absolutely a talented writer. And you can see in my review that I have very, very positive things to say. And there aren't a lot of writers who can pull off what he's done in several respects, actually. I really enjoyed the social linguistic aspects of the book, and I talk about that in my review as well. And I thought that even though there wasn't a lot of action in the story, I felt engaged, particularly after the first 1/4 to 1/3 or so. It took a while to sort of feel immersed in the world because it's fairly complex. There's a lot going on. He's doing a lot with culture and intercultural interactions and with just the whole building of the world and everything else. And not only that, but the character development. But I found that authors who take their time with the character development, with the world building, can end up being really, really fantastic, can end up writing the most compelling, immersive stories. You just have to trust these authors. I said it in my review, I had a very similar experience when reading Robin Hobb's Farseer trilogy. It took me a while to get the feeling that I was comfortable in that world, that I was just experiencing the story. It was a bit of figuring out, and it was a lot of character building, getting to know these characters. So I felt a similar thing, even though it's a much shorter book, actually. Shadow and Summer is 270 pages or so, and that's, for a fantasy, not a very long book. Although the pages, I will say, there's a high word count on the pages, so small print or whatever. But yeah, fantastic book. I really am delighted to have started to read something by Daniel Abraham, an author whose name I've been hearing for a long time, have been intending to read, and really have been impressed by what I've seen so far. So I'm very excited to continue in the Long Price Quartet and to be discussing it with some friends, because I am going to be participating. I've announced this before, but now I have a little more detail on it. I'm going to be participating in a discussion of A Shadow in Summer with 4 other booktubers, and these include Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads. And in fact, Andrew is going to be hosting our first discussion, the one on A Shadow in Summer. And also there will be Sarah from Sarah Reads, Nico from Nico's Book Reviews, and Alan from the Library of Alexandria, whom I have dubbed the prophet of the Long Price Quartet, because he is such an effective evangelist for this series. There are a few series that if you know Alan, you know that he's done a great job advocating for. Books of Babel being another one, and the Long Price Quartet. And I can name a couple others, but those of you who know Alan know just how effective he can be when he's enthusiastic about a series. So that had me all excited to read the series, and he was absolutely right. He had predicted that I would enjoy Daniel Abraham's writing, and spot on. I mean, this is the kind of writer that I enjoy a lot. I think Daniel Abraham is a very smart writer. And with prose, it isn't, it's not show-offy at all. It doesn't call attention to itself. It's just good, solid prose that has a lot of moments of beauty. And he captures, I think what great writers do is they capture truths of life. They somehow convey our experiences. And when we recognize our experiences on the page, we're like, wow, that feels so authentic. That there's something that feels really cool about that. And I think a lot of my favorite writers do that really well. And so I anticipate that Daniel Abraham could become a favorite of mine as well. So we'll see. But very, very promising start. So once again, the live stream, though, we'll be doing it on the 12th. I don't know if I remember to say that. I might have gotten carried away with something. But it'll be on the 12th of December. That is the 12th of December. That's a Sunday, I believe. I think that's a Sunday. The 12th of December. And the time is not yet determined, but it will be on Andrew's Wizardly Reads. So I can confirm we're on for the 12th of December, though. And it'll be a live stream. So it would be wonderful to see you there if you can make it. Okay, so what else did I do this week? Well, I participated in another chat with AP, this one appearing on his channel, and it is episode 15 of our Fantasy Archetype series, and it is about dragons, a great fantasy topic. And I had a fantastic time chatting with AP, with Professor Fireballs, about dragons. How appropriate that it would be on his channel, a critical dragon, one of the many varieties of dragon out there. The critical one, watch out, they can toss some real fireballs. Let me tell you. But it was a lot of fun to talk with him. In fact, we had a little too much fun on that one. I blame AP. Actually, it was entirely his fault for making me laugh at the beginning of that video. If you haven't seen the video, it's episode 15. I had a good time. Was it really episode 15 though? Because, well, we missed an episode. We skipped an episode, The Void. I've talked about this before, but AP skipped episode 12, and I've been giving him just a wee bit of a hard time about that, which is kind of my job, isn't it? I feel like that's my job. When I get together with AP, at least half my job is to give him a hard time. So I think I've done that effectively, but he got a little bit of vengeance, made me laugh at the beginning of the video on the dragons, so we had a fun time. So yeah, that was a lot of fun, and I'm really enjoying the archetype series a lot. It's helping me to understand a lot of the archetypes or tropes or whatever you want to call them that appear in our genre, to appreciate them, and hearing back from the viewers about their insights on these archetypes and their favorite examples has also been really enriching and a lot of fun. So I've enjoyed this series, and AP and I can intend to continue with this series for a while. So yeah, 15 or 14 episodes in, and we're going strong. So, and I am continuing to read Stephen Erickson's Tol the Hounds. After finishing Daniel Abraham's A Shadow in Summer, I went right back to Tol the Hounds, and I'm about halfway through now. This is the Malazan Book of the Fallen, Book 8. And just, wow. I mean, I've said it many times on the channel, but Stephen Erickson has become my favorite writer of all time. And a lot of his great talent is on display in Tol the Hounds. It is a deeply moving book. It can be a bit disturbing at times as well. But it is, it's such a rich book. And a lot of what defines the Malazan Book of the Fallen can be seen in Tol the Hounds. In fact, Stephen Erickson has spoken about it as the cipher to the series. And that is something I want to talk about when I discuss it with AP, when we do our usual non-spoiler discussion on my channel and the spoiler discussion for his channel, which I anticipate will be coming up in the next couple of weeks, perhaps. I think I've got another week or so to finish Tol the Hounds, and we'll see when we can get together and put together our videos on that. But I'm very, very excited to discuss it with AP. And yeah, I mean, I just can't say enough about this series, and also Ian Esselman's novels of the Malazan Empire. We need to get to book 5 on that as well, and I think I'll be reading at least one more book after Tol the Hounds, and then I hope I will be on the next book in the novels of the Malazan Empire, book 5. So that Blood and Bone, I think, is what it's called. So yeah, I'm very, very excited about that, and just everything Malazan, just wow, just tremendous. But I will not rave too much this time on that. The next book, though, after I finish Tol the Hounds, I think is going to be Stephen King's Wizard in Glass. This is book 4 of the Dark Tower series, and it is the series that. So a lot of what I've been reading, a lot of what I've been prioritizing for the channel has been books that I'm reading as buddy reads. That's what tends to get put at the front of the line. And I'm not in a buddy read with anybody on the Dark Tower, so it's been put off more than I would like. And of all the series that I'm sort of in the middle of, the Dark Tower, I have to say, is the one that I feel the most urgency to keep reading in. It's I've loved the first 3 books, and I feel a real sense of urgency to finish this series. So it is one that I intend to just sort of get through one way or another. So after I finish Tol the Hounds, I would very much like to get through Wizard of Light. Not a small book either. The first 3 books in the Dark Tower were a bit slimmer. This one looks like it has a bit of heft to it. So, but I am very much looking forward to it because I've enjoyed Dark Tower a lot so far. And I feel like that is filling one of the many gaps that I have in my fantasy reading. So it is, for me already, it's become like a top 10 series. That's how much I've enjoyed the first 3 books, and let's see what happens. But I anticipate that I'll enjoy book 4. I know that it is there's a lot of backstory for Roland in there, and that is something that I automatically feel like I'm going to like. So we shall see, though. And what am I going to be up to? A couple interesting things, I think. The one is going to be that will be filling in, actually, for the Shelf Space Book of the Month, read along, whatever it's called over there. Something I've done before. I participated in the Shelf Space Book of the Month when I did Guards, and Alan from the Library of Alexandria was hosting. This time, Abby Salter will be the host, and I am filling in for someone who couldn't be there. Unfortunately, they'll have to put up with me, but I will do my very best, and we'll be discussing Neil Gaiman's American Gods. And this will be taking place actually on the day that this video comes out, Saturday, the 27th at noon. That's on the East Coast of the United States, so noon EST, or that would be 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So if you are available today, because I'm recording this the previous day, but today, as in Saturday, the 27th, at that time, it would be so lovely to see you there, especially if you're interested in Neil Gaiman's American Gods. It is a book that I have taught several times in my fantasy novels course. It is a book that I have so much respect for. And it is a book that teaches really well, by the way. There's a lot of great themes in American Gods. It's a fantastic book. I think there's just a lot of things that Neil Gaiman does really, really well. So I'm really excited to talk about it with Abby and whoever will be there in the chat. So hopefully some of you can join me for that. Another exciting announcement, very exciting for me, and I think a lot of you will enjoy this as well. I have fixed a date for another chat with Mike from Mike's Book Reviews. Early in December, I'll be meeting with him, and I think the video will be out probably on Tuesday, December 7th, if all goes well. And this is me inviting Mike to my channel after he invited me to his to do one of his talks about nothing. I haven't quite decided what to call it. I don't want to just copy and say talk about nothing, so I got to come up with something clever. Perhaps you could help me, like talk about nada, or talk about something, or talk about anything. I don't know. Help me out here. I will look at your suggestions if you have anything, but the main point is I'm going to be chatting with Mike for as long as we go and talking about all things fantasy, what we're up to. We might even talk about some things that are not fantasy related. Who knows what'll come up. So it's one of these sort of unplanned, fun discussions with one of my fellow booktubers, one that I have a great deal of respect for, and who has done a lot to help me and this channel. So I am very, very excited to be talking to Mike in early December. And that's it from me for this episode of The Week That Was. I look forward to seeing your comments in the comment section, and I hope to see you in some of these chats, and I will keep on reading, and I hope that you are enjoying whatever it is that you're reading. All right, until next time.